Hello everybody, this is TheAireaidLord, and this is a review for The Legend of Korra Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2 for the premiere, which premiered on September 13th, 2013. The Rebel Spirits and the Southern Lights. For those fans of mine who are still sticking, are fans of mine from my gaming content, I used to do these, or you know that I used to do these reviews for the Legend of Korra episodes back when Season 1 was released in early 2012. It's been quite a hiatus since we had any new Korra episodes, but now they are starting up during the fall of 2013, and I figured I would go into the spirit of reviewing them now with some high-definition quality. So, I'm just going to be giving my opinion of the episode. I don't want to recap everything that happened. I'm assuming if you're watching this review, you watched the episodes. It's 8:02 right now, Eastern Standard Time, and I quite literally just finished watching the episode. I wanted to make this now so it's fresh in my head. So, I did like the fact that, alright, so at the beginning of the episode, I like the fact they kind of preface, they say, alright, Korra's beating Amon, which, again, I wasn't too happy. If you saw my review of the season finale for Season 1, wasn't too happy with the revelation of who Amon was and how the Equalist rally and the Equalist cause kind of collapsed, and it meant nothing. The conflict between people who could bend the elements and people who couldn't bend the elements was completely thrown out because of some hypocritical thing, but regardless, this season is now focused around the spirits. Book 2 is called Spirits, and it's all about the concept of these dark spirits being are emerging in Korra's world because they are frustrated with the humans. Specifically, the humans that they are frustrated with. They are frustrated with the northern and, well, more specifically, the southern water tribe, but both water tribes are are given emphasis in these episodes. So, it starts out with Korra kind of being all happy, merry. You know, the beginning of the first episode shows where everyone is. So, Bolin is off with his new team in the Fire Ferrets. Mako is a cop in Republic City. And Korra is practicing airbending, using the Avatar state for the wrong reasons. They kind of preface why the spirits are pissed, because Korra, as we pretty much knew, wasn't ready to master airbending. She wasn't ready to take on the Avatar state, and yet she did, just because she was like, oh, they'll just give it to her just because. And she got it, just because they needed to wrap up Season 1 really quick, so they just let Aang give her airbending and give her the fucking Avatar state just because. Again, another thing I didn't like about the end of Season 1, but I'm not going to spend the whole episode talking about that. But yeah, she has airbending, she has the Avatar state, and she's using it incorrectly. You can see this, and she used it to win the airbending race, the scooter race with Tenzin's children. And it seems like everyone's just kind of off. It's an era of peace. Everyone's kind of just, oh, happy go merry. You do see the seeds of conflict, especially when now I don't remember their names. I remember Ulok. Ulok is the uncle of Korra, and what is he? He's the leader of the Northern Water Tribe. And he has knowledge of these spirits, and he's also the brother of the leader of the Southern Tribe, who happens to be Korra's father. Now, in Season 1 of Episode 1, we were introduced to Korra's parents when it was first revealed that Korra was the Avatar, but never did they ever go into any backstory about who her parents were, because that was something we didn't get with the original Avatar series. Avatar Aang's parents, you never knew who they were. You just had his foster father, Monk Gyatso, and, you never knew much about who his family was in the Air Temple. This opens up interesting ideas, because we get to see the conflict that Korra has with her father, much as the conflict that she's having with Tenzin. The fact that everyone wants to teach her and train her because she's the Avatar, she has responsibilities. Tenzin thinks she should focus on airbending. The father thinks she should just focus on being the Avatar. He agrees with Tenzin. And then Ulok comes along and kind of throws a curveball. They have this festival. Ulok kind of says the dark spirits are pissed. They're not very happy with the humans. The Southern Water Tribe is out of balance, quote unquote, and things need to be done to bring it right on the right track. So Korra now has a choice. She has this choice between, serving with Tenzin and continuing her airbending training, or she can go off with Ulok and open this new spirit training, which it's revealed that Ulok has this power, which I don't know if it's water bending or blood bending. I don't know what type of power that this guy has. He has the ability, when one of the dark spirits attacks, he has the ability to manipulate it with some he's using some type of bending power. I don't know what it is, but he's using some type of power to manipulate the spirit so that it calms. Oh, it's almost like giving the spirit a chill pill, like calm down, it's no longer dark, it turns into light, and then it kind of walks off and disappears. This power is revealed a couple of times during the course of the 2 episodes when they're attacked. And it's never explained how this power works. Korra obviously wants to learn it because her, earth, water, air, and fire, none of the elements are doing anything against these spirits, even though she's the Avatar. Even the Avatar state's not doing anything against these spirits. Seems like all of her powers are pretty much useless, so this new power that Ulok has seems to be the only thing that can do anything against this dark spirit, these spirit monsters. So, because she's so intrigued by this, because there's this threat, because she's getting pissed at her father and Tenzin, she tells them to go screw off. Tenzin goes off with his siblings to visit Aang's home, which is the Southern Air Temple, and Korra goes off with her father and Ulok, and of course Mako and Bolin, and they visit this area. I forget what the area is called. It's this sacred forest area in the South Pole, which holds some sort of spirit power. And Ulok wants her to uncover it so that they can bring light, quote-unquote, back to the Southern Water Tribe. So that's a general overview. Now, there were some things I really didn't like about this episode, and it's kind of funny because this happened when I watched Season 1 of The Legend of Korra. I didn't really like the first 2 episodes, but then once episodes 3 and then onwards came out, I actually started really enjoying it. So, here are the things I didn't like. Everything just seemed really, really, really cliche, okay? Honestly, it kind of was almost like that slap in the face, because let me tell you, again, as I said, I hated the ending of Season 1 of The Legend of Korra, how Amon was shown to be this complete pussy after all the time he put into his equalist cause, after everything that he had gone through, for him to fall apart like the wimp that he was, and just say, oh, it was bloodbending, that's how we did it, and let's throw him to be connected to Yakone so that we can wrap up the season because we didn't get enough airtime and money to make more episodes. Because of that, you see the effects, like everything is all good again. Korra probably gave everyone their powers back. The power, no one is not as a non-bender anymore. Lin Beifong got her bending back. All the other people who got their bending taken away, she probably gave it back to them. Everything just seems cliche. The carnival scene is the greatest example of this. You see Mako and Korra in relationship issues, which is kind of like rolling your eyes, like, alright, like, what is this really showing us here? It's kind of frustrating. And then you have some comedic scenes where Bolin meets this guy, what's his name? Merrick? I want to say it's Merrick, but that's the guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! The villain from Season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's this guy that Asami wants to make a deal with because the Sato industry is suffering because Hiroshi was an equalist, so he's in prison. So Asami's trying to get the company back on the right track, and she makes this deal with this really rich guy who seems like he seems like a crazy guy because he's all into partying and stuff. They introduce things like film. There's actually a scene where they show like moving pictures, and you have the carnival where they're playing games, and there's lights, and there's like a Ferris wheel. It's kind of funny how they show modern stuff in this Avatar world. It's a weird mix, and I never felt that it really belonged because, yes, this is a 1920s kind of feeling. That was more of the feeling you got in the first season. This almost feels like I don't know, maybe a couple years later from the 20s. Like, it really feels like it's almost like the 50s, really, like a 1950s kind of vibe with the things that are going on, maybe even more modern than that. So I didn't really like the modernness of the episode. It felt cliche, and it just felt kind of hacked together. Like, I could see the plot points very clearly. And let me tell you, here's my prediction, okay? Ulok, I think, is probably a bad guy, okay? He's using Korra. I'm just going to say that outright. Here's what's going to happen. Yeah, they give you the backstory of how her father... And this was really, really stupid. How oh, her father chased a bunch of raiders. The raiders attacked the Northern Water Tribe. They chased the raiders, and they want to get back at the raiders, so they flood the fucking spirit forest. It's like, didn't you think that you were, why couldn't you have taken out these raiders in a more efficient way than using your water bending to flood a spirit forest? Like, couldn't you have just subdued them in some other subtle way? No. Oh, I'm gonna flood the whole damn forest just to catch a couple of raiders. Like, what? Yeah, and then the spirits get pissed, they attack, and then the guy gets banished to the Southern Water Tribe, and Korra's like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, well, maybe if your dad wasn't such a freaking idiot along with the other guys who destroyed that freaking forest. Like, it just seemed kind of dumb. Like, the backstory just didn't really seem that convincing to me. And then, Korra uses that as the reason, is to say, no, Dad, you're leaving. I don't want you on this expedition with me, and blah, blah. But it's completely obvious that Ulok's the guy is a bad guy. I know he's a bad guy because, number one, he knows too much about this spirit stuff. There's something about him that he knows way too much about this spirit stuff. Number two, the end of the second episode shows the Northern Water Tribe soldiers almost taking over, like martial law, pretty much taking over the Southern Tribe to fix it from what it has become. And it seems like even Korra at the end of the scene's like, okay, these soldiers kind of just came out of nowhere. Why are they taking over my home? Do you have an explanation for me? And Ulok's like, well, there is much healing that needs to be done, so this is what has to be done, and that's the way it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. I'm your teacher. You told Tenzin and your father to go fuck a duck, so now I'm here to instruct you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Again, I mean, in 2 episodes, that kind of went by fast, honestly. Again, and I've said this before, the original Avatar series was good because I didn't feel like I was being rushed. They had enough episode airtime to take things slow, to slowly and gradually show the progression of how things were going with these characters, the character development, the introduction of certain things. This show, it just seems like things are getting really, really rushed. Like, Korra is already, like, infinitely powerful. She has control of all 4 elements and the Avatar state. Again, as I said, that has no effect on these dark spirits, which, you had to have something that was more powerful than the Avatar, because she's already overpowered, so you had to have these spirits which are more powerful than her so the show doesn't get boring and repetitive. So, it's just, I don't know, it was just kind of a letdown, really. I mean, it was okay. I did like some of the humor between, what was it? Those 2 girls that Bolin was going after. Eska and, I don't even know her name. It was like the girl and the guy, they looked identical. Some of the humor was funny, like his inflatable jacket when he's skiing down the hill. That was kind of funny. I mean, it was pretty good. Again, the relationship between Mako and Korra, that was rushed from the beginning, so seeing that makes me want to fucking puke. So, it's kind of dumb, and Korra's such a nasty bitch towards Mako. She's like, oh, I don't need your help, whose side are you on? And Mako's like, whoa, 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 like, calm the hell down here. So, Korra's really whiny, and she's obviously not yet a full Avatar, which is so stupid, because the end of Season 1 convinced you it convinced you, well, that Korra was ready to be the Avatar. Oh, she has airbending unlocked. She has the Avatar state unlocked. She must be the perfect Avatar, right? Because Aang didn't get control of all of the elements and really have an understanding of the balance of the elements until he defeated the Fire Lord and actually understood what balance it means. I feel with Korra, it's just kind of like an all-over-the-place kind of thing. Like, sometimes she's like, oh, I understand my responsibility. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. The wishy-washy of her character is really turning me off and starting to make the episodes really a drag. And then that paired with her kind of romantic nonsense with Mako. And, I don't know. I'd like to see more character development with Korra that's effective. I'd also like to... I'm interested... I'm not going to bash the first 2 episodes. I am interested in the conflict between Ulok and the brother, which is Korra's father. I'm interested. It's kind of funny. You've got this spirit conflict going on, but you've also got this Northern Water Tribe versus Southern Water Tribe kind of thing. That's a very interesting concept. I never actually considered that the Northern and Southern tribes would be fighting each other, because in the original Avatar show, the Southern Tribe was in shits. It was in shambles. You had like one igloo, and that was it, because the Fire Nation blew them to hell. The Northern Tribe was prosperous, and they almost got defeated by the Fire Nation. So at the end of the Avatar show, what was it, Master Paku even said that they're going to rebuild the Southern Tribe, but that was like from Northern Water Tribe influence, so you have to think what made the Southern Tribe lose their way from when the Northern Tribe came to rebuild it. Like, it kind of makes you scratch your head. I'm not too sure, but yeah, so it's interesting to see the conflict between the Northern and Southern Tribe. I don't know how this is going to pan out. Also, another thing that they didn't explain, why is there this change in government for Republic City? At the beginning of the episode, the announcer guy who prefaces all the episodes says, "Oh, the council has been disbanded and there's a president." Okay, so we've been shown one image of the president. We don't know who he is, how he acts. The council's been disbanded because Tenzin's no longer on it. He's traveling the world, visiting his father's home with his children. So what's the whole purpose behind that? Like, what does he play a role later on? Like, I don't know. I feel like he will play a role later on, but we'll have to see. Again, lots of unanswered questions. This will be a weekly thing, just to let you know, because the episodes come out weekly, just like they did in 2012 for Season 1. Again, I'm not bashing the show. I just think that the second season is picking up where a lot of the problems from the end of the first season happened, where everything fit together so perfectly at the end of Season 1. You didn't even need a Season 2. Let me just say that. You could have ended Season 1 of The Legend of Korra and nobody would have questioned anything. There were no loose ends. Amon and Tarlok were dead. Korra mastered, or didn't master. She obtained airbending, got her bending powers back, got the Avatar state, gave everyone their bending back. The Equalists are done. Everyone apparently hates the Equalists because, Amon was a hypocrite, even though the reasons Amon gave, I'll say this again, the reasons Amon gave why benders were bad were legitimate reasons. They showed this in many episodes, and then they say, oh, he's a hypocrite. They disregard all those reasons just to show him as a hypocrite and to rush the season out. And that was the biggest complaint I had with the end of Season 1, because you had this good political conflict in the show, benders versus non-benders. You had Tarlok as the bender prowess guy. You had Amon as the equalist guy, whose ideology is correct. You had Korra agreeing with Amon in some cases, but then at the end you just have Amon be some hypocrite that's connected to Tarlok through Yukon and bloodbending and all this bullshit. So, Season 2 picks up from these problems, and it's kind of disappointing. So, again, I don't want to judge Season 2 from the mistakes of Season 1, but Season 2 is a sequel to Season 1. Everything is wrapped up so nicely that they throw this spirit conflict right in your face. Oh, dark spirits, they're coming about. There's, it's because of this, humans are being too gluttonous. And I almost, what's funny? I would have almost liked there to have been an extra episode where they reveal how the humans are disregarding the spirits, more than just some backstory. Oh, well, Korra's father flooded a forest, therefore the spirits hate everybody. The end. Like, what? Like, give us, like, an explanation. We really, like, I'd say the episode, I don't know if you guys remember this episode, the original Avatar episode, the Winter Solstice episode, where Heibai, that giant panda monster, was terrorizing that village. That episode was very much like this one, because you had the Avatar going up against this giant spirit creature who was pissed. Okay? But they showed you legitimate reasons as to why it was pissed, and they didn't reveal it initially. They didn't just say, oh, this is why the spirits are pissed. The spirit started destroying shit. The villagers brought it to their attention. Aang investigated, went on a whole bunch of journeys, had to discover shit. You had the Fire Nation backstory to compensate with it. You had both things going on. And then at the end, then you understood why Heibai was pissed. Then Aang addresses it once he realizes it. It made sense. This kind of seems like, oh, okay, this is the reason why the dark spirits are pissed. These are all these powers. It's rushed. That's always been my complaint with The Legend of Korra, that it's a rushed show, and I'm hoping that the future episodes don't do that. I don't want this to be another 12-episode fucking Season 2. I've heard that Seasons 3 and 4 of this show are greenlit. That should be motivation enough for you to put all of your time and effort into making this season good. You may have fucked it up on Season 1 with the whole Amon storyline, where you had a great character that you blew all your potential with, but If you can make it work with Season 2, do it. I'm more than happy to see some connected story with the Dark Spirits. Another thing, I'm not too sure what's going on with Tenzin's daughter. I don't know, was it Genora? Whatever her name is. She seems to almost be have avatar-like abilities. Like, she's looking at these avatars and connecting with them and, like, staring at them. And I was almost expecting her eyes to glow. And I know in one of the previews in the trailer, she meditates with Korra. So, like, does she have avatar powers? I don't know how that'd be. Maybe she's connected to Aang, so she has them. I'm not sure. But those are questions that'll be answered later down the road, I'm sure. But, again, leave your comments as to what you thought about this episode. Again, I'm reviewing 2 episodes. That's why this video is kind of longer. So, The Rebel Spirit and The Southern Lights. I think that's the name of the second episode. Don't crucify me if I'm wrong. But so that's my review. Those are my thoughts. Thank you for joining me. And I shall see you next week for episode 3 of The Legend of Korra. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.